Hello, everyone. Hola, Fernando. ¿Está? Fernando, Lisa. Hello, Lisa. Holger. Esther. Hello, Judy. Hey, George. Adam. Hello, Adam. Lucas. Hello, Lucas. Holly. Hey, Frank. And Alan. So, okay. So in meeting together, we're not seeking a state, we're not seeking an experience. Because all experiences, all states come and go. They appear to you. And then something else appears. Whatever you attain in time, you lose. So in meeting, we are not seeking any experiences. In a way, we are resting in our true nature. We're resting as we are. And in this resting, the activities of the mind are not the focus of our attention. We are neither focusing on thoughts, perceptions, sensations, neither are we avoiding them or discarding them. We are simply here noticing being, noticing presence, noticing that there is no need to do anything or to be anyone. Until a situation presents itself and invites us to respond or to act in a certain way. In this moment, we are inviting ourselves to simply rest, not just rest the body, also invite the mind to rest. And this resting is available to us as the presence which we are. This effortless beingness, this effortless awareness. There is no effort involved in hearing these words. There is no effort involved in sensing the sensations within your body. There is no effort in noticing the movement of the breath. This effortlessness is always available to us. It is available to us in the absence of activities. And it is available to us throughout activities. The effort in our experience is the effort in trying to be somebody and trying to maintain this sense of me, trying to protect this sense of me, and trying to perpetuate my story about my life in the past, in the future. Although there may be a need in our life to sometimes be a father, a mother, a son, a daughter, a teacher, a student. Within ourselves, we don't need to be any of that. In our understanding about ourselves, we don't need to understand that we're a father, a mother, a teacher, a student. Such roles only apply in certain situations in the world. But they are irrelevant to that which you are. In this moment, the reality that hears these words is neither a mother or a father, a son or a daughter. I perceive. I is neither a male I or a female I, or a tall I or a short I. So know yourself as that. Know yourself as the reality which hears these words. Effortless. Allow the stream of thinking to unfold whichever way it's unfolding. Allow the world to unfold whichever way it's unfolding. You remain undefined, and yet the reality of awareness is your reality. The images on the screen do not define you. A male body, female body does not define you. A full bank account or an empty bank account do not define you. The popularity of your body-mind or the lack of popularity of your body-mind does not define you. You are that which you are in this moment, this aware presence. There is one reality. Whichever it is, whatever it is right here, right now. Not the images that appear within your mind, not the thoughts, not the stories, not the memories, not the feelings. The reality is unchanging, changeless. And is not concerned. There are no concerns within reality. Therefore, all concerns are false. All concerns relate to what you believe yourself to be. What you believe yourself to be is not that which you are. From the perspective of being somebody, we feel and we believe that we exist in time and space as an object, as a form. That is the veil within which we perceive ourselves and the world. We experience our life as if a clock is ticking. We experience the sense of lack and insufficiency, worry. Sometimes we feel we are running out of time. Sometimes we feel we're in danger. Sometimes we feel we are good, and sometimes we are bad. Sometimes we feel we are making progress, and other times we're stagnating or regressing. We don't realize that these are just images on the screen, mind stuff. That we are not that. We are awareness. Formless, edgeless, boundaryless. We are presence, we are being. We are the transparency. Finite entities are the result of our concepts. We conceptualize form. We conceptualize a tree. A lake, a bird. But we, I, whatever that is not a concept. You know yourself, each one of us knows ourselves as I. But we don't need to add I this or I that. Simply remain with I. Not I somebody. Not I human entity. The non-dual understanding is the understanding about the reality of I. The one reality. I is real. Is one reality. It is not about changing your dream or improving your experience, improving the experience of the body-mind. It's about understanding, about truth, about reality. In this understanding, there is freedom. And the solution of the false. In the dissolution of the false, what remains is that which you are, that which is. So if you have any questions, you're welcome to unmute your mic and can turn on your video so I can see you. Anything that you would like to explore, any questions? Hello, Fernando. You see, I need to, if you can unmute yourself. I hear you. Can you unmute yourself, Fernando?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, now I hear you, yes.
Hi, Madi.
Hello.
I've been practicing meditation, attending retreats, reading books for years, attending satsangs. After all those years of practice, I'm not fully happy. Why is that? It was Ramana Maharshi fully happy? Nisargadatta was happy? One guy that looks happy person is the Dalai Lama to me. Mm-hmm. But my question is, why after years of practice and all this, why one is not fully happy?
Yes, yes.
Is happy possible? Are there people, happy people?
Yes, yes. You know, the thing, Fernando, is we often, maybe unknowingly, we practice all sorts of practices and do a variety of activities, but there is behind the scene a personal interest. So in other words, we're not just doing what we're doing for its own sake. We're not just sort of meditating because we love meditation, or we're not like reading scriptures because we love reading the scriptures. We're not attending retreats because we just love attending retreats. We're attending retreats because we want to get something. We're studying the scriptures because we want to get something. We want to improve our life. We want to experience happiness. And so behind the scene, there is still a me that is wanting to be happy. And when you're wanting something, meaning you don't have it, and meaning if you don't have it now, when are you going to have it? It's always now. Experience is always now. So when in the moment we're doing whatever we're doing, even like we're attending the greatest retreat with the greatest sage in the world, in the universe, and we want something, there is a me in there that is coming in that is wanting something. So it takes a while to sort of to get to see that as long as there is a personal agenda, a personal interest, and the person is there saying, give me. How come I don't have that? He has, let me see, what I need to sit longer, I'll sit longer. I need to read more, I read more. I need to meditate more, I'll meditate more in order to get something. For whom? For whom? So the personal self, the sense of me, is always about itself. Everything that it's doing it for itself, to maintain itself, to aggrandize itself, to get a better feeling, to get a better state, etc. So we need to really understand that dynamic has nothing to do with peace or with happiness. Because there is a seeking. How can happiness on one hand and seeking on the other meet? There can be no seeking in happiness. You say, happiness is not a personal process that one achieves. Rather, it is seeing through the falsehood of this dynamic, the falsehood of this me dynamic that is constantly looking for what is the next thing. Now, so when we ask ourselves, is happiness possible? Meaning costless happiness, a happiness that doesn't come and go, not happiness as a result of a certain experience. Is happiness possible? Then the question that we need to look at is, for whom? Is it happiness for happiness' sake or happiness for my sake? If it's happiness for my sake, then the question is, What am I assuming myself to be? So we take a look at that. What am I assuming myself to be? I'm assuming myself to be a father, a mother, and an artist, a student, a teacher. What am I assuming myself to be? All of that, what assuming yourself to be, is about the body. It's about the mind. It's not about the reality, which right now hears these words. Right now, I hear these words, you hear these words, I hear these words in this moment. This I that hears these words, is it an artist? Is it a painter? Is it a father? Is it a mother? Is it a son? Is it a daughter? This I that hears these words. It's none of that. None of that, right?
Mm.
That I is there. It's what I am. What is the problem with I right now? This I, whatever this I is. I'm not talking about the body. The body may, there may be some issue with the leg or with the back or whatever, a headache or toothache, or there is a worry about a project you're working on, whatever. I understand that. But I'm talking about I right now. Because at every moment in your experience, I is I am I. Yes. So then say, well, what is the relationship of I, this reality, this I right now, and happiness? I exists right now. It is what it is right now. It is a reality right now. It's not saying, where is happiness? It's not saying where is happiness? Because in its very nature, there is no obstacle. In the nature of I, there is no opposite. There is no lack, no lack. Lack is only when we say, oh, wait a minute, I have, I have $500, I need $700. I have such a job, I need a better job. I have, that relates to the body mind. So happiness, are you looking for happiness for the body mind? Or are you investigating happiness for happiness sake? Happiness for the body mind is very easy. It's a come and go. You're hungry, you eat, you're happy. You want to win the lottery, you go, you gamble, you win, you're happy for a moment. For the body mind, there is no such thing as happiness the way we speak of it, which is the causeless happiness. For the body mind, there is pleasure and pain, seeking and avoiding. But that's not what we're talking about, Fernando. You may have done meditation for 30, 40, 50 years. I understand. But that doesn't matter. It's okay. It's nothing good or bad about it. But the understanding is to understand now about who is the meditator. Is I meditating? This moment, I is. It's perfect. I awareness. There's nothing lacking or missing or too much or too little. And that is meditation. It's not somebody who's meditating. It's not, oh, I've meditated so hard. I've used to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning, sit until 7 o'clock, read Ramana's books, etc. Go to this retreat and that retreat. I sacrifice so much of my time to go for retreats. All of that is part of the path in a way. But sooner or later, the path is going to lead you to the Gateless Gate. The Gateless Gate, which is the Gateless Gate of presence, of I. I is the Gateless Gate. You step through this Gateless Gate. As a way of speaking, figuratively speaking, of course, because you already are this I, this presence. It is not in time. Happiness is not in time. not in time. The world is in time. The body is in time. The mind is in time. But happiness is not in time. It's a timeless presence. So when we are as we are right now, we're not in the past or in the future. We're not regretting. We're not seeking, hoping. And this presence is what we are. I am.
Happiness is always there, right? The only thing is that we don't recognize it as our own self.
Yes, we are.
I have an example. For instance, today I was in the studio and I was looking for a tray to mix paint. I spent some minutes looking for it around everywhere. You know, it's a bit messy, my studio. And I was looking for the tray here and there, and I didn't find it. Then I gave up and I got another tray to do my work. And suddenly I gaze into the one table that I have in front of me, just in front of me, and I was the tray there that I was looking for. Yes. And I immediately thought, oh, that is like the self, God, happiness, everything what we are looking for is there. The point is that you don't see this in front of you. That yes. Was
yes.
That's the example, I think.
You see, you cannot perceive or experience that which you are objectively. You can perceive perceptions, you perceive the movement of the self, but the self itself you don't perceive. So you perceive the movement of the self, the thoughts, the perceptions, the sensations, memories. But the self you don't perceive. You are the self. You see. And there may be issues with how the dance of the self is. Looking for the palette, for the painting. It's here, it's not here. Where is it? Where is it? That's a dance. But the self, the dance of the self, doesn't affect the self. The movements of the self do not affect the self. Like hearing these words right now, whether I'm speaking in English or somebody else is speaking in Spanish, do not affect the self, that which perceives. And that's the beautiful. What we're looking for. We're looking for ourselves, but we're looking for ourselves in the form, via the senses. We're mistakenly looking for happiness via the senses, which is just sensation. And sensations, they come and go. They appear and disappear. There's a saying like what we're looking for is what you are. I know it's a little mad, like why we're looking for what we are. Well, we're actually not looking for what we are. We already are what we are. It's more like we've been perceiving ourselves through the lens of separation. And we've experienced that, wait a minute, that's not my real, that's not That's not true perception. That's not pure perception. Pure perception is pre-perception. At the source, like the eye cannot see itself. So pure perception is before perception. Yes. So the peace, the happiness is not a result of any experience. So it doesn't belong to the body mind. It can shine onto the body mind. But the happiness is not sourced, it's not initiated at the body mind level. It is initiated via our understanding about the reality of I, the reality of being. So rather than looking for an experience of happiness, allow the experiences to be what they are without looking for anything in the experience. Because whatever you're looking for in the experience is just an experience. And experiences are like dreams. They're like a balloon. You fill the balloon, fill the balloon, fill the balloon. At one moment it goes pop. So don't look objectively. Rather, as a way of speaking, look from the source, which you are. Which you are. So when you're looking, the you that is looking is what you are, is the source. It's as if the source is looking at itself. And in this moment, the source is looking at itself. It's appearing as this appearance, but also it knows itself. I know I am. Reflect about these words. I know I am. What is their meaning? The significance of I know I am. There is a deep secret hidden within I know I am. I am and I know I am. That is not a form. There is no form in I am. There's just pure I am. Pure I am. And there is no lack in amness, in the I am. There is no. It's the naked self, the self in its unadorned reality. It's complete transparency. See, the journeys in the mind, in the past, the me, I did this, I did that, blah, blah, blah. All these are thoughts that are appearing in this pristine I am. It's just thoughts and images, that's all. Appearing in the pristine I am is that which I am. It's always pristine, even if a thought comes or doesn't come. It's always pure. Like the wide open sky, it's pure, even though it appears blue, or it appears red when this, or it appears gray when there are clouds. It's pure. But it's not a phenomenal experience, right? It's not, I'm experiencing something called purity. There's no personal self in amness. It's beyond mind, beyond the beyond. You cannot conceptualize reality, because the concept of reality is not the reality. It's just the concept of reality. You cannot conceptualize reality. So are you back in Virginia, Fernando?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
We were just 1 week in California,
Yeah.
Los Angeles,
How was
2 weeks ago.
Your visit?
But I couldn't contact you because we were busy with my daughter, my son, and my grandchildren. So, and the traffic in Los Angeles is so
I know it is. Yes.
It discourages you to drive anywhere.
Right. Yes, I remember once I drove to LA to visit my daughter. I left like at 6 o'clock in the morning. I got there in like 45 minutes, and it took me 4 hours to come back.
Oh my God! Yeah, it's like that. Yeah. Well, but it was nice being there.
Yes, wonderful.
But we missed you. Well,
la próxima vez.
Next time, yeah.
La próxima vez.
Thank you, Magdi.
Okay,
for your answer. Very
nice to talk with you. Yes. Hello, Judy. Oh, I think you need to unmute yourself, Judy. Let me see. I don't hear you. I still don't hear you. There should be in the bottom left of your screen a little mic. Okay, now you should be okay. Yes, that's it.
So I was listening. That was so beautifully how you were explaining happiness. I heard something today, and selfishly, I don't even know if I should say that word. I said, I'm going to save that for Magdi because I was lost. And in the audio, he said, the self cannot get out of the self. Have you ever heard?
The self cannot get out of the self.
Right. And I didn't understand.
Mm-hmm. Well, people say things in a certain context and in a certain conversation, and it may makes sense in a certain context.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. I don't
He
know.
was talking about the problem, I wrote it down, resides in the mind. It's like playing God.
Well,
So I should just listen.
yeah, let me take a look at this. Okay, now again, I'm not making commentary about what you read to me, but I'm going to speak how I use the term the self. I use the term the self in referring to the reality, which is his words right now. I is the self. It's only one self. There's only one reality. Because we're interested in reality, we're not interested in illusion. I only speak about reality. But sometimes when we sit around a dinner table, we're having a few drinks and chit-chatting, we may indulge in all sorts of tales and stories as a play. But here we're speaking about reality. So there's only one reality. When I say self, I'm referring to I. So I is I. You cannot take I out of I, or you cannot bring I to I. I is I. You cannot bring water to the ocean or take water out of the ocean. I mean, that's it's ocean is the ocean. It's maybe that's a wrong metaphor, but you can't add anything to awareness or remove anything from awareness. Awareness being, I am aware this moment. Whatever it is that this moment is aware. This awareness is neither less or more. It is always what it is. It is always awareness, not lacking, missing, or anything like that. So yes, you cannot take anything out of awareness or augment awareness. So when people use the language, I am more aware, they're not referring to awareness. They're referring to attention, or they're referring to their mind. They're referring to the focus of their mind, maybe, or the state of their mind. Maybe if you had 4 beers or 2 glasses of wine, I say, I feel more aware now, or less aware, whatever. So that refers to the body-mind. Mm-hmm. But in terms of I, in terms of the self, right now, this moment, I perceive this perception, right? This I that perceives this perception is transparent. It's not a male or female I. It's not lesser or more. It's what it is. So in terms of unhappiness and playing God, there's a confusion that we have about I. We mistake I to be the mind. We mistake awareness, consciousness to be the mind, meaning the local set of experiences is the mind, the local field of perception, the local set of thoughts and of feelings, of emotions, of memories. We consider that to be I. And so we have somehow limited I, which is the reality which perceives right now, to be a set of experiences. And this is what we refer to as me, or the ego, or the sense of me, as a set of experiences, of memories, of thoughts, of perceptions, of sensations. Now, when we say, okay, we're playing God, meaning we are individualizing awareness. We're personalizing awareness and turning awareness. Another way for awareness or reality is God in the religious terms. And we are personalizing it. We are reducing God's infinite universal being into my finite personal being. Now, it should be important to understand that in fact there is no personal being. There is no personal self. Although there may be thoughts that say, oh yes, there is. These thoughts, they appear to you, you being the impersonal self, the universal consciousness, universal awareness. These thoughts that appear to God, they are telling God, hey, God, you're a limited dude. So, although thoughts may appear to you, telling you that you're a woman, that you're a mother, that you're this and that, these thoughts, they don't know doo-doo about you. They don't know anything about you. You know them. Why? Because you perceive them. They don't know you. Why? Because they don't perceive you. Thoughts do not perceive. You see? Thoughts do not perceive. So given they do not perceive, usually when something doesn't perceive, we call them blind, right? We say blind. So thoughts are blind. They're blind birds flying by. So thoughts do not know you. Therefore,
that's a good one.
Huh?
That is so great.
Yes.
It seems simple.
Yes, absolutely. Truth is simple. Only the lies are complex, complicated. Truth is simple, right? I love you is so simple. Oh, I love you because last week you did this and that, and he did this and she did. That's complicated, right? Right?
Yes.
Right. So
what happens, Magda, when I'm here or people are with you, it seems so simple. When I walk away and life happens, not quite as easy to remember your wonderful teachings.
You know, you have to give some time,
yes,
for the understanding to sort of, fill the space, and
yes,
you have to give it some time, and you have to visit the rose garden. You have to visit the orange grove to enjoy the perfume of the garden, so that the perfume in time stays with you and becomes, available to you in your world, in your life, in your relationships, in your being. So it's okay. What they say, patience is a virtue. But it's a journey of love. You come here because you love, being here. You love this conversation. You love the friends here. You love being together here. It's a journey of love. So you do what you love, and in life, in the world, also do what you love, not what you like, but what you love. You love. So look in that direction also in your life. Celebrate love.
yes,
Within yourself and in your relationship and in your thoughts. Entertain the loving thoughts, that not loving towards somebody, no, just whatever is sweet, meaning when thoughts that make you angry angry arise, you don't need to, how do you say, continue with the thoughts. You just say, well, wait a minute. Why? What for? Why would you want to pollute your mind with negative thoughts?
Mm.
It's not like they don't have the perfume of a rose, right? They don't, right? So we don't. Now, sometimes we have difficulty with that. We say, well, I would like to be free from negative thoughts, but they keep coming back. I can't free myself from them. And so then there is an understanding that is necessary about negative thoughts, negative emotions. There is an understanding. The understanding is important. When you understand something, you are no longer in ignorance. You have an understanding, and then you have a choice of, okay, I understand that going through a red light is a stupid thing to do. And you have that understanding, you have the freedom to do the foolish thing. Hopefully we don't, or not. So understanding is important. So the understanding about unhappiness is important. It's an important understanding.
Awesome.
And whenever you separate yourself from yourself, there is unhappiness. Now, what is the meaning of separating myself from myself? How could I? It's impossible. You're right. It is impossible. But we imagine that we are a person. We separate ourselves from consciousness, from awareness, which awareness is borderless. It is our experience that I'm aware, but it's not our experience that I, the body, is aware, or I, Judy, is aware. Our experience, you have to look at that. Don't take my words for it. You have to look at that.
Right.
Our experience is I am aware. And then we add, oh, wait a minute, no, that's not true. No, it's not I am aware. It's I, Magdi, is aware. Why did we add the name of the body? That's the name that my mama, who loved the name Magdi, she said, this baby boy is, I'm going to call him Magdi. It's a beautiful name. She's going to call him that. I mean,
It is.
Why am I adding the name of the body to when I say I am aware? Why? Because I have this belief that I means the body. But this belief that I is the body, where did it come from? There is no evidence for that. Why? Why there is no evidence that I is the body? Because I perceive the body. I perceive my hand. I look in the mirror. I perceive a face. I look at my toothache. I perceive the toothache. My stomach is gurgling. I perceive the hunger. I perceive the body. If I perceive the body, that means I am that which perceives. I am the reality which perceives. The reality which perceives is not defined by that which it perceives. The reality which perceives is not defined, is not limited, is not defined by that which it perceives. Like you can perceive an oak tree. Yes. But the oak tree does not define the reality which perceives the oak tree. The oak tree does not define I, does not define you. You can perceive in your night dream a unicorn. The unicorn, with all its colors and its beauty, does not know or say anything about that which you are, right? Right? So that which you are is not defined by your thoughts, by the perceptions, by the sensations. It's not. You are that which you are. Whatever that is, you are that which you are. The reality that right now is, that is. And the fact that there is life, there is somebody knocking on your door, for example, doesn't change you. It's not like, oh, suddenly I became something else. Right? The fact that, you know, there is somebody visiting you, or that there is a thunderstorm. The fact that you're driving to the market to do some shopping doesn't alter the reality that you are. Hmm? Right?
Magdi, how do you turn away from the content of experience when you're doing?
I never turn away from the content of experience. It's not possible. How can I turn away from this conversation? How you know, what do I teleport myself into a different ozone dream? You can't turn away from experience. How do you, it's not possible. You're asking the impossible. You know, you don't need to turn away. It's not about turning away from any experience. No. It's about understanding that you are not an experience.
Ah, that's the term. Write this down. Don't get mad. I'm writing it down.
I can send you the recording. Holger posts the recordings anyway. So thank you, Holger. Again, always thank you.
Thank you, Holger. He's a saint.
So in your question, how do you turn away from an experience? You're assuming that there is someone in some sort of driver's seat that's going to turn the steering wheel and take exit B instead of staying on the highway. And this way it's turned away from experience. But there is no separate driver. There is no separate controller. There's only I.
Yes.
In this moment, creating and experiencing. In this moment, creating and experiencing. You're not created. When I say you, I'm never talking about a body or about an object. I'm always talking about the reality that right now hears these words, I. Not what you imagine yourself to be, but the reality which perceives right now, I. I know you as I don't know you as somebody. I know the body as Judy, which I perceive, this perception is Judy. There's no confusion about that. But I is one I. The I that we all know as I. I am. So there is no separate anything within our experience. So don't try to turn away from anything.
Okay.
No? Because in the thought of turning away from something, you're imagining yourself to be separate.
Wow, I get that. Yes.
Now, of course, at the level of the body-mind, when you're walking and it's raining, you're going to turn away from the rain. You're going to go and get your umbrella, and I mean, but that's not what we're talking about.
Yeah.
When you notice that there is a fire, you turn away from the fire, but that's not what we're talking about. I mean, that's at the body-mind level. The body and the mind, they operate. They know they're programmed for the survival of the organism. But you are not the organism, you see? You're not the organism. You're not the body, mind. You are the reality which perceives right now. This is primordial for you to comprehend, yes?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, Manoj, nice to see you. So any questions? Hello, Holger.
Hello, Magdi. So then what I observed in myself was just, I didn't mind anymore how I feel. I mean,
you did not mind, what was that again?
How I feel.
Yes, okay.
Because I always had this expectation, oh, I need to feel good. I was so invested in a feeling, identified with them, that I always...
Yes. Sorry to interrupt, Holger, but you see, you don't feel. We don't feel. We don't feel. That's not how it works. We perceive.
Wonderful.
I does not feel. We perceive toothache, we perceive the sensation, we perceive an image, we perceive shoulder, tightness in the shoulder. We perceive, yes? So
That's not, yeah.
I do not feel.
But this was so deeply, this is amazing what you're saying. It's really beautiful, but this was so deeply ingrained, this identity with the feeling.
Yes, yes. Again, we in our ignorance, I don't want to emphasize that word, but in our ignorance, we associate I with the body-mind. There is this, it's as if we sort of, it's some sort of trance where the I is now the realm of experience. I is not the realm of experience. The realm of experience is that which moment by moment is perceived. You could say, yes, I'm perceiving this, that, whatever. But the superimposition of I, meaning awareness, with the realm of perception is, or with the mind, is one of the core aspects of confusion and ignorance.
Can we say unknowing instead of ignorance?
I'm sorry,
Instead of ignorance, if we use the word unknowing, I'm just looking for a nicer word.
Yes, yes. It's not possible not to know. There is no such thing as not knowing, because if there is not knowing, there is something that knows this not knowing, or so in knowing, there is no opposite. So I know you didn't use the term not knowing, it's unknowing, but there's no opposite to knowing. It's just knowing. Ignorance, usually, I mean, always, not usually, always refer to ignorance as sort of ignoring that which we are. If you say, okay, yeah, I am that which is, but I'm going to ignore that which is, that which I am, and I'm going to assume I am that which becomes. So the ignorance is sort of turning our attention away from our self-knowingness and assuming an otherness. An otherness? Is that an other identity or otherness? Is that an English word? Otherness? Some otherness, some other somethingness. The term ignorance has a negative connotation. To say, "Oh, you're ignorant," you know. It has it's sort of like a disparaging feel to it, but I never use it this way. And so that's one of the package term, a term that has a little luggage with it, a little baggage with it. But we use it, try to use it surgically.
Thank you, Magdi. Thank you for this beautiful satsang.
Okay.
And I think Frank has his hand up.
Oh, yes. Hello, Frank. Yes, you need to unmute yourself, Frank. You can. Okay. Okay, Frank.
Oh, here we go. Okay, thanks. That was. I think Holger's got the controls, right?
Oh.
Thanks, Holger.
Oh, okay.
Hey, Maggie. Hey, how you doing? Hey, thanks for everybody for sharing. I'm getting a lot out of this satsang today. Because we're talking about something that's kind of close to home with me. My mom has some memory issues, so I'm always wondering, like, what's happening there. Like, I know consciousness is there. I know that awareness is there, and she itself, she's aware of the fact that she's forgetting things. So that tells me that's awareness. That's really, for me, is like proof that even if you lose your mind, so to speak, you don't lose your consciousness, because you're as long as you're aware that you're losing this and that and the other thing, if this makes any sense. But my question here is this, that my friend whose mother has full-blown Alzheimer's, and she doesn't even know who he is. Maggie, are you having trouble hearing me?
Yeah. Oh, now for a moment I didn't hear you, but now I hear you fine. Oops.
Okay.
Okay.
So I understand my question is about awareness when it comes to things like Alzheimer's. Mm-hmm. What happens to awareness? Awareness doesn't disappear. I know that. Right. I mean, I feel like I have the understanding. But when you have somebody who's not even aware, like my friend goes to visit his mom, she doesn't recognize him. And I'm wondering, is she aware that she's not recognizing him? Is there an awareness that's not visible to us? but where is awareness at that point? Is there awareness there? It's there, but is she aware? Do you know what I'm asking here?
Yes,
Because
yes.
I know you can't destroy awareness, so you can't just say,
Right.
okay, awareness is here but not here. But in her case, that localization that used to be there of mind, that seems to be lost. The mind aspect of her seems to be lost.
Yes.
But is there still some kind of awareness, knowing that that's been lost?
Yes, I understand the question.
Okay.
So, Frank, right now, our body is bombarded with zillions of rays, of particles and rays, gamma rays and all sorts of particles. And we're not even aware of that, right? Now, if you somehow mount, within your eyes, a certain instrument, you will be able to see that, my God, you're being bombarded, by a zillion atoms and molecules and whatever. So your eyesight, when your eyesight is very, very sharp, you could see a flock of birds flying by, wow, even in the distance. But when your eyesight changes, it could be a flock of birds that everybody is seeing, but you're just standing and just seeing the blue, wide open sky, right? So the body-mind instrument, in relationship to that which it perceives, is a relationship between that. The body-mind instrument of a young child and the body-mind instrument of a 90-year-old person are very, very drastically different. The child cannot comprehend 2 + 2 = 4. When you say 2 + 2, they're just hearing, they're hearing sounds. They're not comprehending 2 + 2. When you go to school and you start to understand 2 + 2, and you hear 2 + 2, there is an image that you see, you perceive. Okay, I see what you're talking about. 2 apples + 2 oranges, equal 4 pieces of fruit, whatever. So conceptually, it is also the conceptual realm, the mental realm. Musicians, for example, when they go to the concert hall, or when I go to the concert hall, they hear a totally different thing than I hear. I mean, they're hearing certain melodies and the string instrument, and they're because they have they have studied the music, they've studied the various solfege and all the notes and so on. They perceive and hear completely different from when I go to the concert hall. Now, in satsang here, you take somebody from the street who has never been interested or doesn't know anything about these meetings, and they come and they attend here, they're just going to hear all sorts of sounds. They're going to hear words and consciousness and perception and mind, and that which you perceive does not perceive you. So maybe I'm beating around the bush. Now, in terms of the body-mind of your mom, the body-mind of your mom is just an instrument. Awareness is reality. Awareness is not similar to the sentience of the body. The degree of performance or activity or sentience of the body varies depending on each body-mind. There are some people who are very healthy, very bright, they're blind, they don't see. So there are some people who are very, very healthy, very muscular, but they cannot conceive of certain complex. So the body-mind instrument, and that changes over time, has nothing to do with awareness. Awareness right now doesn't refer to the condition of the body, doesn't refer to that which you perceive, that which you hear, or whether you know that you are talking with Magdi, or whether it doesn't have to do anything with that. Awareness is aware. Awareness is aware. It does not depend on the body-mind to be aware. The body-mind is the instrument via which awareness perceives whatever it perceives. So in the case of your mom's body-mind, awareness is no longer using this instrument, or not your mom, your friend, excuse me, is no longer interested in using the instrument to recognize whatever her son, let's say her son name is Peter, it is no longer interested in within this body mind to recognize Peter. So that body mind, your friend's mom, whatever the name of that body mind is, Josephine, that body mind is no longer being used as an instrument to recognize her son Peter. Now, your question was about awareness, was not about the body mind. So the answer to your question about awareness, nothing ever is happening to awareness. It doesn't increase, it doesn't decrease. Just because your young body mind, awareness is not young, or if the body mind is old, awareness doesn't get old. Awareness is non-phenomenal. It is the reality of all body minds, irrespective of what the body mind is appearing as in the moment, in this moment.
So Maggie, quick question here. I don't mean to interrupt, but I just before I forget. So do you think there's so awareness, like I said, I know that awareness is limitless and boundless. It can't disappear. It can't be localized here, not there. It's going to be everywhere, right? But I wonder, is there something in her that knows that she doesn't even remember her son? Do you think awareness is there to that point?
There could be moments within her body-mind instrument where she could realize, oh my God, where is my son? I don't, or there could be such a thought crossing her mind that she's not recognizing her son.
That's a thought, though. My question was more about awareness itself. Yeah, she might have thought that recognize this person here. I'm saying, I'm wondering if there's the awareness is bang. Gee, I don't know who this is. I should know who this is, but I don't.
You know, there's only one game in town, Frank. Can you hear me, Frank?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah.
Okay. There's only one game in town, and there's only one player in town. Okay? There's only one game and one player, which is consciousness. So yes to everything. Yes, that consciousness could play the game of, oh my God, I don't recognize my son. Or plays the game of, oh my God, I have so many children. I love all my children. They love me and I love them. Whatever. There's only one game in town, one player. There's only one reality. And it's not the reality of my son or the reality of my mother or the reality of my father or the reality of this or that. There's one reality. So whatever is created, meaning whatever we experience in this moment, there is a creation in this moment. Every moment is changing. A second ago is different from a second from now. It's different from now. So wherever there is creation and whenever there is creation, which is ongoing creation, as per our experience, there is only one creator and there is only one perceiver. And yes, there are no limits to the possibilities of the creator. So in answer to your question, is it possible for consciousness to play the game of, gee, I don't recognize my mother? Yes, why not? Absolutely. Right? Okay, I lost your video for a second. So
I was just like,
I'm sorry, you're frozen for a minute, Frank. Here, you're frozen. You're
on my
frozen.
cord here. Can you hear me, Magda? Can you hear me now?
Yes, now I do. Now I do.
Okay, sorry about that. Okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
I had my power was running out, so I had to replace
Yeah.
the wire here.
But
Put the wire in. Okay.
the
I'm
thing-
listening. Go ahead.
The thing that's important to comprehend is that awareness is not personal. It's not a personal awareness. It's not objective. It's not something. It's not a something. It's not a something. Awareness is not what you imagine it to be. Awareness, there is only awareness. Everything is awareness. Awareness is not another phenomenal, fantastic thing called awareness, among other things. No, it's not like that. There are no things. There's only awareness. See, so when you're talking about awareness or thinking about awareness as if it is something, you are sort of defining awareness in some sort of way in your mind. But awareness is not one thing among many other things, or the main thing among many other things. Awareness is the only thing. And it's not a thing, because if it's the only thing, then there is no other thing but awareness. Then even the word thing doesn't mean anything, because things exist in relation to other things, right?
Yeah.
It's not that your mother exists in relation to awareness. There isn't awareness and your mother, or awareness and your mother's thoughts.
I guess I'm asking from the perspective of a body-mind, and I guess the body-mind really can't understand this kind of thing, but this is what I'm guessing here. But yeah, okay.
The body-mind, Frank, the body-mind, if you look at your experience right now, what is the body-mind? Because your answer to your question is right now, right here, what is the body-mind? If you look at your experience right now, and you ask yourself, what is the body-mind? There is perception. There is sensation of your back against the chair. There may be a thought, meaning perceiving. What is it that we call the body-mind? What is it that you call the body-mind? It's a good question. Good question. What is it that you are choosing to call the body-mind? Right? I mean, we choose to call these glasses, right? What is it that you are choosing in your experience to call the body-mind?
Yeah, the body, the solid, which we know is not solid, but it seems very solid, and then the minds around the thoughts around this whole idea of having a body. I think anything related to the body will come up as mind. I mean, as thoughts, which can be perceived, that's how we know it's an object, right? Because they're perceived, both the body, which seems solid, which is really sensation, and then you have the thoughts, which we call the mind, or at least part of what we call mind is thoughts. So, and those are all perceived by consciousness. So those are all objects. Is that what you're asking me? I'm not sure what you're asking.
Well, right now you perceive the steering wheel.
Mm-hmm.
And we say it's an object. So there is a thought that appears to you, says this is an object, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, something is labeling your perception as an object, and something is thought, we are conceptualizing, we're choosing to within our perception, to make an outline of an object. We make an outline of perception. Within the perception, we outline, like when we were kids, we used to take scissors and cut little images out of we sort of, with a scissor, we cut the contour of a steering wheel, and we say, this is the steering wheel. But our experience is whole, is whole. Is not made out, our experience is not made out of steering wheel, table, ashtray, lamp. Our perception is whole. You see what I'm saying?
No, what do you mean? You say perception is whole. You mean you're taking in the entire whatever's in
Right now
your vision?
in your field of perception, your field of perception is not divided in pieces and bits.
Right. It's got, you're taking everything in. Yeah.
Right. But conceptually,
delineate things, right?
yes, conceptually we say, well, this is this and this is that and this is blue and this is green and this is up and this is right. But in our experience, perception is whole, is undivided, right?
I'm not sure I get that, but I mean, I know what you're trying to say, but I just don't understand. What do you mean whole? I mean, it depends on what I'm focusing on. If I'm focusing just on the wheel, to me, it's just the steering wheel. If I'm focusing on...
Wait, you're focusing on the steering wheel, right? Focus on the steering wheel. Are you not seeing the dashboard?
Kind of in the background, yeah.
You will see, yes, you are seeing the dashboard, man. You can focus on the steering wheel all you want. Are you not seeing your leg or part of your leg?
I guess when I'm focusing on the wheel, I see more the wheel than anything else. I don't know. I'm sorry. I want to say yeah, but I'm really looking at the steering wheel. You know?
But if I put an instrument, if I put like a camera in behind your eye, I'm going to see. I'm going to see the steering wheel, and I'm going to see your leg, right?
And everything else. Your
perception, the fact of your perception, is that you're perceiving whatever it is, the whole image, the whole perception.
Okay, yeah.
Right? And conceptually, you say, oh, wait a minute. No, this is the steering wheel, but it is separate from the dashboard. But from the camera point of view, in your eye, the steering wheel and the dashboard are not separate.
Yeah.
So in your experience as the camera there is no separate object. I am not saying there is anything wrong with conceptualizing these are glasses, this is a steering wheel, this is a dashboard. There's no issue with that. I'm just talking about our experience, our raw experience. I'm not denigrating the conceptual aspect of our experience, which is very helpful. I'm talking about our raw experience.
I'm kind of reminded, Maggie, real quick, I'm reminded of the old, people always bring this up, that when you look at the tracks, if you look at train tracks, right, they seem to meet at some point, but there's something in us that says, no, they don't meet, they actually keep going forward. So that's the consciousness part of it. That's actually making sense of what we see. Whereas the eyes, if there was such thing as just eyes that saw without perception, without intelligence or without knowing, it would just look like they meet, looks like they meet.
Yes.
Is this what we're talking about? Kind of?
In a way, no, I'm not talking so much about the illusion or the interpretation of perception. What I'm pointing to is that about objects, that objects are conceptualization after our perception. So there is, I'm using the term after, just as a in the language, because there is really no after, it's sort of simultaneous. Our experience has no objects. Our conceptual realm has objects. That's the point that I'm trying to make.
Okay, yeah, I get that.
I'm trying to make a distinction without saying one is good and one is bad. With that, I'm just saying there is the realm of the pure experience, and there is the realm of the concepts.
Yeah, I get that.
Realm of mind. So the mind makes distinctions, important distinctions. Okay, this is my house, this is my car, this is Frank's car, this is Frank's house.
It delineates everything. It kind of delineates everything, right?
It delineates everything.
This is things in.
Yes, this is my mother, this is Magdi's mother, etc. Makes these distinctions. This is the mind level. But in our experience, it all is one. So in terms of objects,
Maggie, can you back up just a second there? When you say in my experience, are you talking about looking at something like a brand new scenery, let's say, where you have no concept of what that would be, that you're taking it all in as just one big kind of like, not a blob, but like one continuous thing where there's no delineation or anything like that? Is that what you're talking about when you say my experience?
Yes. Our experience is like that. Our experience is an experience of awareness. Just awareness. And the entire realm is one reality. And the objects are, they don't have, there is no reality to objects. There is a conceptual realm about objects, about solid and liquid and gases and density and all of that in the conceptual realm. In our experience, we experience sensations, perceptions, thoughts, and they're all made out of, there's essence, is awareness. Because without awareness, what is a thought? Without awareness, what is the image of my mother?
Nothing.
Without awareness, what is the toothache? Or what is my body? The reality of our experience, and again, our experience is sensations, perceptions, and thoughts. But the reality, the essence of our experience is awareness.
Mm-hmm.
So because we only speak about reality, therefore our conversation is always about awareness. Everything that we experience, the world, the body, the mind, its reality is my reality, which is awareness. There is no objective reality. There is a realm of concepts about a stone, a grain of sand, water, nitrogen. In the conceptual realm, the concepts require awareness. The concept stone. What is the concept stone without the reality of awareness? What is the concept my mother without awareness? So the reality of all concepts, the reality of all perceptions, the reality of all sensations is awareness. But awareness is not an object. It's not something among many other things. Because there's one reality, only one reality.
Thank you, Maggie. Appreciate it.
All right, Frank. Nice chatting with you. Okay.
I'll revisit this at some point because I've got a lot
Cool.
more questions to ask about. I'll
I
wait a
got
few
you.
weeks, but I'll ask you then. Okay,
All
thanks.
right. All right. Good to see you, Frank. Okay, friends. Very lovely to be with you all. Thank you all. Fernando and Holger and Frank, Adam, Judy, Lisa, George, Alan, Walter, and Holly. Thank you all.